After days of escalating threats against Iran, U.S. President Donald Trump says that he is hoping to avoid taking military action against the Iranian regime and says that he is open to new talks with Tehran on a possible nuclear deal. This is what he had to say when asked by reporters about the prospect of discussions with Iran.
I have had, and I am planning on it, yeah. We have a lot of very big, very powerful ships sailing to Iran right now, and it would be great if we didn't have to use them. Okay?
Can you say what the message was that you shared with Iranians?
Well, I told them two things. Number one, no nuclear, and number two, stop killing protesters. They're killing them by the thousands.
And on this topic of Iran and the threat of U.S. military action, I want to turn to Middle East analyst Favas Gergis, professor of international relations at the London School of Economics. Thank you so much for your time this morning. What do you take from that off-the-cuff statement from Donald Trump and at least the prospect of U.S.-Iran diplomacy?
I think there's a race against time between war and diplomacy. My take is that the odds are against a diplomatic breakthrough. Your viewers might wonder why so? Because in the past few days, President Trump has expanded his demands from Iran. He wants Iran to abolish its nuclear program, period. He wants Iran to have a limited number and a range of ballistic missiles. And he wants Iran to end all its support for its local allies and proxies in the Middle East, including Hezbollah and Hamas and the Houthis. And what these demands really amount to is basically asking Iran to surrender. It's humiliating the Iranian regime and probably would mean the end of the Iranian regime as we know it. And that's why I think unless there is a major compromise by both sides, Iran and the United States, I doubt it very much. The march to war seems to be having momentum.
Now, I mean, we know that the U.S. has built up its naval presence in the region. Iran's foreign minister in Turkey today, Turkey offering to mediate diplomacy between the U.S. and Iran. You've talked about the American demands. If they are not met, do you believe that Trump would strike?
I have no doubts in my mind that Donald Trump is preparing to attack Iran for a variety of reasons. First of all, that President Trump feels emboldened by the successful military operation in Venezuela. Secondly, he feels that Iran is vulnerable. Iran is weak. Iran is fragile, in particular after this wave of protest and the killing of thousands of protesters. And also, I think Donald Trump is facing domestic difficulties at home as a result of, clampdown against immigration and pushback by the Democrats and American citizens. And I think also President Trump has boxed himself in by saying he will attack Iran, since, the protests had started. So my take on it is that Donald Trump has boxed himself in, and he will most likely, he hopes, to score a major international, victory as he did in Venezuela. And that's why I think the odds are in favor of President Trump ordering either a symbolic attack, but I think it will be a much bigger attack than the attacks in June against the Iranian nuclear program.
What is ultimately the biggest American goal? Is it a deal on the nuclear program? I mean, we've also heard, these anti-government protests in Iran absolutely clinging onto the statement by Trump that help is on its way. Is it about regime change? What is the American plan or Trump's plan, do you think, the ultimate goal in Iran?
Well, I think he stopped talking about really the protesters, and surely it's not about democracy. And President Trump promised the Iranian protesters that help was on the way. He did not do anything. Now the goals have changed. It's all about no nuclear weapon, nuclear arsenal. It's no ballistic missiles. It's all about ending Iran's help for its regional allies and proxies. So it's all about geopolitics. I think if you really ask me what's the overarching American and Israeli goal, is regime change. I think both Donald Trump and Israeli Prime Minister see this as a golden opportunity. The regime is down. The regime is starving. It's besieged. Is having major economic problems. So I think this is why I think they're hoping that, and that's why I think, and I hope I am wrong, that President Trump basically feels that this is the moment, and he wants to seize the moment and see whether he could really basically deliver a fatal blow against the Iranian government, which I think it's very risky and very unlikely that the Iranian regime will fall either by a symbolic attack or even a much bigger attack.
Put this into the bigger context for us, because, I mean, we have seen American attempts at regime change in the region, and they have, I think it's fair to say, not played out well. How do you think that other major powers in the region react if the U.S. does indeed choose to make a military move against the Iranian regime?
Well, I really think this is a key question now, because you mentioned Turkey. Turkey has emerged as a key mediator between the United States and Iran. Neither Turkey, nor Saudi Arabia, nor the United Arab Emirates, nor Oman, nor Qatar want war, because they realize, the Middle East does not really need another war in the Middle East. This would be catastrophic. Iran is not, Venezuela is not even Iraq. Any major turmoil in Iran would have catastrophic consequences, not only inside Iran, but on the region itself and Europe in terms of illegal immigration and instability. And that's why Turkey and even Saudi Arabia, historically a rival of Iran now, Saudi Arabia and Oman and Qatar are calling on President Trump to de-escalate. But at the end of the day, truly, and I don't exaggerate, no one knows what's in President Trump's mind. Even his advisors don't know. At the end of the day, his calculation will be about how will an attack or even a diplomatic breakthrough play in Trump's domestic favor inside the United States itself.
Professor Fawaz Gerges from the London School of Economics, a sobering assessment there. Thank you so much for joining us to share it.